Bit of different one this time. What we have here is a shower unit made by Triton. It's model T90 SR. And the problem with it is that the water won't come out. You can hear a motor turning, but there's no water actually coming out here to the shower hose. There's not much in these, so I should imagine it'll be a simple enough one to find the fault. Whether they find parts for it or not, that's another thing. I believe Triton do sell parts in the UK, but not in Ireland. We have to go through different places, third-party suppliers get them, which makes them more expensive, and they're expensive enough to start with. Okay, there's 2 screws in the bottom, here and here, and you got another 2 at the top. And what we just pull it off, then make sure you're in the off position here, and just put them down. That's fully off, which it isn't at the moment, but anyway. Got to make sure it's in the right position. That'll turn all the way around, each way and back again. That is in that position here. And normally when you get these brand new out of the box, there's a screw in here, because that's the default location. And in your instructions, it's overlooked pretty much by people, and you won't be able to turn this knob. It won't turn. Okay, right, looking inside here, what have we got? We have a pump. We got a canister with a heater element going through it. We got temperature control from here. We got, I don't know, looks like some kind of a solenoid down there, and some kind of a module here. Don't know yet what it is, but anyway, looking at it, right, water comes in here, goes through the pump, comes out here, and this here probably regulates the flow. But then we got to have some way of getting water through and out to the canister to fill this canister. So I would imagine this here is the solenoid that opens and closes to let water in and out. But let's have a look at the service manual that I found online first, and I'll show you. This is the service manual of the Triton T90 SR shower. It's a fairly basic diagram. I don't see anything complicated about it. It's fairly simple and straightforward. On the left hand side we have our live and neutral going in, and then our ground. We have a button here. That would be the button that you press on the front of the unit, which would be pressed, which would join that point with this point. But it would also, I imagine, join this point with this point. Now, I don't know. I don't know about that. No, looking down here, that's a thermal cutout. So we have a thermal cutout here as well. If things get too hot, I would imagine that's the unit. That would be the one that's mounted on top of the canister. But anyway, we'll go back to that and have a look. Right, when this button here is pressed, we get live here at this here, item 5. Item 5 says it's the pump and motor assembly, which would be that board with the module on it, and you have 240 volts going in. This wire here is your neutral, live. That becomes live, so we should have a voltage driving a motor. This unit here, we can say that this button is okay because we know the motor turns. The customer said they could hear the motor turning, but there was no water coming out. So we're good up to there. So we follow this down here, and it comes here down to item 10 on the list here, which is a solenoid valve. And this would be the valve that lets the water into the canister. I would imagine we're going to have 240 volts there. Most likely, because all I see is a wire, and I can't see that wire being gone. I don't see any burns anywhere. There's nothing visual I can see. This end here is the neutral. We'll follow that back. It goes to the other end of the motor assembly, and then straight back to neutral. How simple is that to test? We got just around here to test. This here are 2 micro switches that are for bringing in 1 or 2 of these heating elements to get more heat from your water. That knob that you turn, that was locked, that has been locked with a screw, would open and close them micro switches. And what we have here, we got 240 volt live goes in here through the heating element. This is your neutral side, and you'll see the neutral side goes straight back to neutral. And we got this item 7. What's item 7? Neon indicator. Okay, that's the light that lights up in the front of the unit when it's powered on. The other one here, we got our 240 volts go through the switch into the heater element, back out. We're on our neutral side now, and it goes through this item 9. Item 9 is another thermal cutout. Goes through that, up here, and straight up to neutral. I've had no problems. The customer didn't complain about heat, you know, the problems with the heat. They just complained about this here. So I imagine I'm going to concentrate on this. I'm not going to do live tests on this. It's just easier on the bench to do cold checks with a multimeter rather than powering it up with 240 volts. I suppose I could put a couple of volts DC into that, and you'll be able to follow it with a multimeter. But we don't need that. Okay, we're back at the bench. And let's follow our theory then on this. We know that this here is the solenoid that lets the water in and out. And I'm in diode mode there and continuity mode. Okay, the switch is off. Switch it on. So we have it. Let's try our neutral, make sure we got continuity between neutral. So we know we have 240 volts going across this solenoid. So just double check. Go on ohms read. Okay. Looks like we have on circuit solenoid. Simple enough one. There's our neon indicator, and here is our module, the module itself. This board is separate, and all there is plus or minus going into, make sure I'm getting that on the camera. Yes, it looks like I am. 24 volts goes in to this, and it just turns the motor. This module really is only a power supply. 240 volts AC goes in through these 2 cables here. I don't know if you're getting them. That is live and neutral, goes into that. And then what comes out here on this white plug here is 24 volts DC. It's a simple enough idea. And on this then, I don't know if we can see it. There's a link down here. And that should be in, it's to do with when you buy this first, the commission is everything will be dry, and so you don't want this pump turning when you start it up. The procedure for it is have your water connected, switched on your water, open up this, let it bleed through, the water will bleed through and it'll come out, turn this on, so close your bleed screw, and then what will happen is this will be back on there. Then the next step is put that into the, there's a link, just transfer that link, cover enough kind of a link, You see we're getting it. Is it there? And it just disconnects the motor totally from this power supply. It's as simple as that. You could leave that out, but they do say put it onto the on position. But I don't. I looked at that board and all I see is two leads for the connector, nothing else. It doesn't go anywhere else. There's no electronic circuitry or anything like that. It's enabling, you know, to tell you it's in some kind of service mode. There's nothing like that. It's a very dumb circuit. It just disconnects this 24 volts from the motor. So right when you turn on your motor, water will go through this pump. Pump won't turn. It will come out, and then it will take all the water out of this as well, and out. And as soon as you get all the air out of the system, then switch it off. Switch off your mains, of course, at your isolated switch, and then put that link back into the off position. I know it says off, but they're talking about commissioning when they're saying off. It's really, when it's in the on position, it's turning the motor off. Okay, put that back. So what I have to do really now is get this out and have a look, see can I get a new one somewhere. I'm sure they're available, but at a cost. Give myself a screwdriver. There'll be a certain amount of water is going to come out of this. Let's have a look and see what we have inside. These units are selling here in Ireland for about, in some of the stores, for about €259, which is not a bad price, really. This out. Now, here we go. What have we got in here? We've got an O-ring on the inside. We've got an O-ring here as well. And yes, a certain amount of water is after coming out. You've also got some kind of filter in there as well. So I think I've seen somewhere online that these are about £50, which is fairly expensive. And I'm looking at this and wondering, is there any way I could fix this? I don't know. It looks like a pretty sealed unit. Looks fairly sealed. There's your O-ring. I don't know, you got it earlier on. An O-ring going around the outright. You have another one on the inside. And we can see, or if you look at it there fairly closely, you got an outer area here, and you got an inner area. When the solenoid is open, it allows water to flow between here and here. When it's closed, it shuts it off. Okay, right, I'm going to take this apart now. Well, see can I take it apart and see can I fix it. I don't know if I will or not. I don't know. There's a part number on it, and it's 22604790. I don't know if you can get that. Okay. We'll stop the recording here and see what happens, whether I can fix this or have I got to get a new one, and will the customer pay for a new one at around €50, well £50 sterling, which brings it up, you know, €60, I think. I'll have to double check. Are they going to pay that for a unit that is 6 months old? I know it's under warranty, but what happens, Triton here in Ireland, is they do not replace the unit. They send out someone to repair it, and in the meantime the customer just got another one of these and stuck it up, and they want this up as a backup for when it goes again. That's as simple as this customer wants it. So maybe they might pay the money for it.
Here's the web page for Triton Ireland, tritonshowers.ie. There's a UK equivalent to this, and what you get is you just punch in your model number and it'll come up, or you can search under, say, electric showers, and you got a little bit of a diagram here of all the different parts you have, and they look very similar to the ones I have on the version I have here. So let's go down here and look through the pictures. I did say previously that I couldn't get them directly from Triton, but looks like you can now. You got a pump, €85. Some of those thermal cutouts, 25, bit expensive, but can assembly, €85. I think they just make up the prices. And here we go. There's a solenoid and flow valve assembly. You're going to have to buy the whole lot of this in one unit. This could be handy because these units do suffer with the water going cold and going hot, and most likely replacing that would be a good idea. But that's what we need here, and we got a part number here on it for the whole assembly. They're €45. I also, on another website, I got a part number just for this solenoid valve itself, complete with the valve and the solenoid in one unit, but I can't find it anywhere now. See anything else? There's the micro switches, start stop switch for on off, and here's your motor supply, €70 for this. Let's see anything else? No, that's it. You can buy a cover as well. Very good. Pressure relief device. Yeah, okay. Power LED. Likelihoods of ever order one of those. Okay. So, on with the repair.
I got this part from the UK, from a company called Spares to Go. I would imagine it's the UK. But is it got a Chinese, or does it come from China originally? I don't know. And this is all I get. I don't, let me just see, get on there for you. That's all I get. I don't get the valve itself. But here's the valve here. And it slides onto it just like so. Now, don't forget we have an inner O-ring here that sits in here. And we got an outer O-ring here that sits here. I'm just going to mount that in there now like so. Get these cables out of the way. For the time being. And we have 4 screws for this. If you're getting this or not, we'll just see. So that O-ring slips down into its groove and it doesn't get caught out at one side. So I'm going to have to take this down evenly, 4 corners. You see, can you get this? Don't over tighten them. At the end of the day, they're only plastic, a plastic housing. These self tappers are going in. That bottom one there just seems to not want to tighten, but I won't give it any more because it seems to be in. Now, there are two cables. They're not polarity conscious as we it is AC that's going into this at the end of the day, so it don't matter which one goes on where here. And then we have this other cable. Where's this other thing? There is a light here somewhere, an indication light. Let me just see. That goes into the front cover. Find it. Oh, yeah. Okay, right in front of me. This light here. There is a place where that slips in here. That just gives you an indication that you got it powered up. Then you put the cover on, and you're away with it. That should work now. I could check it with 240 volts going across it, but I don't have any kind of a system for checking showers here. I'd need to put water in it. So I would imagine it's going to work in the customer's house. Alright, that was just a quick video. I know it's something I've not done before, and likelihoods that I'll never do one again. But for anyone, this is a common fault on Triton showers, where when you power it up, no water comes out because this coil solenoid is not energizing and pulling that valve down and letting water through. Alright, thanks for watching.